Hey guys, it's a little late, but I wanted to make a quick video because I wanted to address a comment that I received earlier, which sort of runs along the lines of my To the Anti-Label People blog and video. Um, yeah, it really, I understood the initial meaning of the comment, but just the entire thing really irritated me because once again it's coming from completely the wrong angle of assumption, if you will. um, yeah, so I'm gonna read the comment and I'm gonna read my response, and then that might evoke some more language in me right now because I'm tired and been cleaning my kitchen. And yeah, and then I got this comment and I was like, really? I have a video for you to watch. Okay. It's where is it? All right. So, this is on my video. Infamously famous, tired of people not getting my Asperger's because I'm a girl, which I made a million years ago. Uh, Man, it just seems like such a long time. Anyway, it says this. You are a human being first, not a disability or a disorder label. Don't fall for the glamorization of mental illness. So I responded like this. Excuse me, sir, but before making this kind of comment, I strongly encourage you to further evaluate my situation, my message, what I stand for, and what I'm actually trying to say. First of all, yes, I am a human being first. You are correct. And I am a human being in this way that I'm wired. No different to how one gay person is a drag queen and the other plays football and is macho. Autistic people, too, are differently wired at a base level, but have all kinds of different personalities, life experiences, spiritual auras. My autism is not a mental illness. It is a way of wiring. No different than a heterosexual compared to a homosexual. Just in analogy-wise, That's the analogy that I am going to use because of the similarities in the coming out of the closet and whatnot. Anyway, um, for being a minority, I have suffered, and an invisible minority at that. Let's just not even go there. And I have the right to identify and find my community. Would you say to a gay person that they should stop glamorizing their mental illness? What you should do before drawing any more rather ignorant conclusions, including assimilating me with something and someone that I am not, such as a big pharma, system and label worshipping person on a pity pot, accepting disempowerment at a whim. What you should do is watch my video, To the Anti-Label People, and when it's out, read my free Kindle PDF, So What's a Disability Supposed to Look Like? Before you jump to any more conclusions, I really stress that you have a look at that video and or read the blog speech. I have been through hell, discrimination, persecution for the way that I naturally think and behave compared to what's expected of me. And let's not even go there. Though I myself have a lot of progressive, metaphysical, health-conscious, anti-conformist, and even hippie tendencies, when I need to protect myself from getting proverbially and perpetually assaulted by society and mainstream systems, for in which I'm a vulnerable target, FYI. Simply telling me that singing Kumbaya is going to solve that problem is unnerving to the extreme. So, Yeah, sorry to seem kind of bitchy, but the thing is that I made an entire video and a blog called To the Anti-Label People, specifically because I was tired of getting people who I come across a fair bit because of my, um, because of my propensity toward health consciousness and, um, you know, world change and anti-conformism and, anti-corporation, um, anti-system, system reform, fair trade. I'm for all that stuff. I'm absolutely passionately for that stuff. So I come across neurotypical non-autistic people that are also passionate about that stuff that I just hit a wall with when I try and mention my autism. And it's really frustrating because they don't understand. They're saying, "Oh, wait, well, you want to be labeled, you want to have an illness." And I don't have an illness. I'm affected, and those things may have comorbid labels as well. I'm affected with fibromyalgia and Ehlers-Danlos or connective tissues, whatever you can call it, whatever. I'm affected with chronic pain. I'm affected with food sensitivities, and I'm affected so much that I try very hard to eat healthy and do the right thing. I struggle with executive functioning because of my health and my autism, double whammy combined. I try to do so much with this channel, and I just can never keep up with answering people. And well, let's not even go there right now. That's coming next. I mean, I love everybody, but it's hard. I'm trying, but like I'm struggling, and nobody and people like this don't get it. The big difference between me and a hippie is that I can't be spontaneous in the same way that they can. I'm autistic. I do need structure. Really need to plan. I sometimes I'm spontaneous, like I've been having a few bit of spontaneity here and there for certain things. It's good to let go and not be too rigid, but there's a certain degree of structure that a lot of us need because of our executive functioning and our polyprocessing and our memory difficulties. Anyway, what I'm saying is that I'm challenged. I got off on a tangent. It frustrates me when progressive, super, libertarian, left-winged people who are interested in metaphysics and many of the things that I'm interested in don't understand where I'm coming from on the autism thing, that this is a culture, this is a way of wiring, that yes, I am on disability, like right now. I don't want to be for the rest of my life. I'm working really hard to try and function with this stuff. I mean, it doesn't help that you don't see me on days that I'm like my down days where I'm not, like I mean, I use makeup. I don't use it as much of it as I do like my eyeliner, but I don't use tons of it. But I don't like to appear vulnerable, and I do like to dress up because I do like to feel in control, but I suffer in silence and behind closed doors. Well, there's a closed door here, but I mean behind the scenes, a lot more than people understand. And like I've tried to articulate it and write about it. And people don't get it when you don't present yourself when it's happening. But I can't bear to present myself during those bad moments and those bad days. It's not becoming of me. I feel it's not because I'm down on myself. It's just because mostly it's because I'm autistic, and when I don't feel well, I can't talk. Very simple. I just can't talk. It's a shutdown, right? When I'm not feeling well physically or when I'm too stressed out, shut down. My friend pointed out today, that's what these people don't understand. I have shutdowns, and I do occasionally have meltdowns. That's my process. Like there's so many things I could go on about here that to plead my case that I'm autistic, but I'm not going to bother. Right now, I'm just going to say that people like this don't understand. Ironically, they could be potentially really good allies if they would simply understand that this is a different way of wiring that we have that um, is not as able to adapt, and therefore experiencing a circumstantial disability in today's society the way it is right now, a lot in a lot of which they too don't agree with and want to change, and that we are the most affected, and if anything they should be allying with us, they should be speaking out for us and with us, protecting us even. Not denying and being afraid and saying, oh, kumbaya, it's a thing that people want to have an illness from a textbook. No, this is a genuine condition, neurological difference, and we are genuinely affected to the point of disability and illness circumstantially. So, anti-label people, once again, you need to understand, especially those people like me who went their whole lives undiagnosed and learned to script and learned to use the language and learned to interact and now do that willingly and out of love, partly, but still need to shut down and melt. Like, little kids with autism are more prone, and Asperger's are more prone to meltdown. Teenagers as well. So once we get into adulthood, we can melt down if we get very upset, but it's more of a shutdown. And when you shut down, you don't see it. Other people don't see it because we don't want to be seen. It's like an animal crawling into a corner, not wanting to be touched or seen, or, hiding in a burrow. We don't want to be seen because we can't, be function in conversation or anything. And it's not like shyness, it's a shutdown. And people have a hard time believing that somebody who can appear so outgoing and put on such a good performance and be so articulate, particularly in their special interest subjects, could have such a shutdown. But we do, and in fact, dare I say it in such a crude way, I am secretly a shy person. Well, I am to some extent introvert because all autistics are somewhat introverted. But ultimately, I'm just autistic and I need to shut down. And I have these challenges because the world is just not, like, ideal whatsoever for my condition and the way that I process and the way that I tick and for my needs in general. So really, after an entire lifetime of suffering, I finally come to that conclusion. I come to an understanding. I come across information that just hits home over and over again. I identify as autistic. I go to the extent of finding my childhood footage and having my family members interviewed and having a thorough report. It says I am autistic, and I still have to deal with shit like this on a daily basis. And it's the way it is right now, and that's why I'm speaking out, because the more that this continues, whether it's well-meaning or not, or from whatever angle it's from, the more that this denial, this lack of acceptance, this choice to remain closed-minded and dismissing of this truth that autistic people exist, are real, and cannot help their brains being autistic no more than somebody can help being gay. The more that people deny this or think that they should cure it or whatever else, the more that innocent people are simply going to get abused, and the less the world is going to evolve, because because there's more and more autistic people every day. And if you continue to oppress, suppress, and deny and not support a significant percentage of the population, it's going to affect everybody. And it's not going to be good. The energy is not going to be good. And that's what I'm concerned with. Individual to individual, and also the world as a whole would be healthier if you would just accept that autistic people are real, and that we exist, and that we're meant to be here. We are naturally occurring autistic. There's a lot to be said about, the effects and the more severe cases and, nonverbal. There's so much to be said about that I don't want to touch on in this video. I'm sure that this is frustrating to hear for people who have more of those issues. From my standpoint, from a highly verbal autistic person's standpoint, I've been affected in different ways than somebody nonverbal. The most horrible of those being that I have this fragility, this internal fragility, and these internal challenges, and yet it's repeatedly denied, refused to be seen. It's no different than, say somebody with chronic pain and the doctor just refuses to believe that there's a real source for it. Not that that's exactly the same, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I've said enough. This is a ramble. This has turned into a ramble. I'm tired and wired all at the same time. It's all good. Run the script. Jump on the couch. So, anti-label people, please. This is not about the label in the first place. So, get over that part and see us for who we are. We don't like the way society depicts us, diagnoses us, identifies us, like clinically, any more than you do. Bottom line, it's not serving autistic people anyway. None of what they're doing is really serving us ideally or even baseline well. So, we agree with you, anti-label people, but it would be really nice if you would support us and stop putting us down and hurting us when you're so close to that potential ally that it just hurts more. It almost just hurts more, at least for me. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. Good night. Peace out.